The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has tested negative for COVID-19. This day, our sister outfit learned that the test results of the central bank governor were returned on Thursday. Now, this comes just as the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and his wife, Joke Sanwo-Olu, have also tested negative for COVID-19. So, Doctor, we have some more test results coming in here from public officials, and they are negative, which is great news.
Well, I'm not impressed because it looks like in Nigeria we're not following the protocol as advised by the WHO and those who know, and even by the Nigeria's National Center for Disease Control. They've turned, the privileged public officials have turned this testing for, COVID-19 into some kind of circus. In fact, they seem to think that is a joke because we don't have enough test kits.
Yeah.
We don't have, enough face masks. I mean, the face masks and face shields and protective equipment that they have announced, they are things donated by Jack Ma. Do we have enough test kits? We don't. Even in Europe and the United States, the major issue is about access to test kits.
Yeah.
It's about testing. But it's not testing for everybody. Because the protocol is one, if you have been exposed to a high-risk country, then you self-isolate for a period of 14 days. If you have had any contact with somebody who may have tested positive, then you also self-isolate or you quarantine yourself for 14 days and make sure that you don't infect other people. Now, if you now come down with the symptoms, helplines have been provided, and then you go and take the test. We must understand the need to manage scarce resources. It's called Economics 101. But these days, every big man and members of their family, they are all going for the test. They come out, they tell us that they've tested negative. No, we don't need to hear that, except they have the symptoms. Okay, otherwise they are wasting those test kits.
What it is,
they are turning it into testing negative as if it's a badge of honor, as if it's a status symbol. When they have diabetes, they don't tell us. When they have hypertension, they don't announce it. When they test negative or they have cancer, they don't announce it on the pages of newspaper. We must stop this circus. It's becoming,
and that's the right word to use here, it is a circus. And, the global briefing that Arise News had on Sunday, our correspondent, Femi Akinsanya, I heard her ask a question to Professor Akin Abayomi, the Commissioner for Health, whereby she questioned the fact that someone like a Davido had access to 31 tests for himself and members of his crew alone. And Professor Abayomi's response was that people may also be able to get private tests, right? So coming across a report like this, of course, the natural assumption is that, yes, they did get these tests through the NCDC, right? But I didn't want to give that stance to go off. But, Doctor, you did hit the nail on the head. It is a circus. It's an absolute circus. Nigeria hasn't tested we haven't tested up to over 2,000 people so far, as reported in yesterday's newspapers. We have so many more people that actually need to get tested. People are coming out on social media with stark stories about how they're actually being rejected. Their calls are not being picked up. Yet here you have your public officials that instead of following the same public health policy and guidelines that are being given all over the world, are deciding that it's become some sort of game between all of them to get tested and see who's negative and who is positive for COVID-19. And it's an absolute joke at this point.
Well,
however, once again, though, it is good news that they have tested negative because you do not want to wish COVID-19 on anyone. So
yes, precisely. But they should stop wasting the test kits.
Yeah.
Go for test only when you have the symptoms. Exactly. So that we can manage scarce resources very well. Even in the UK, they are having issues with test kits. Matt Hancock had to come out to give specific 5-step guidelines as to how testing will proceed henceforth.
NHS frontline health workers in the UK don't even have access to tests.
Yes. I mean, just about 16% of them have been tested. In fact, less than 16% of them have been tested.
Exactly. It's an absolute
And yet they are exposed, and some of them have symptoms. They are in their self-isolation. And then here in Nigeria, every government official, if every government official goes for tests, there will be no more test kits.
Exactly. And that's the dark reality that we're facing.